everybody. This new layout, Connor, is I can't do the wide boom boom.
Oh
boom.
yeah.
I got to do the inside boom boom boom, which it's all good. Hello everybody, and welcome to the midweek show, episode 7, featuring Connor, of course. Connor, my main man, the main co-host with the most for the midweek show. We are starting a little bit late because we know that Jez is still going. But I eventually got to get back to work, and Jez is cooking over there. So we got to get going, and we'll have those guys come over and join us when they're ready. But Connor, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm all good, man. I'm all good. I think, I wasn't on American Idiots last Friday. I saw it was good. We had Flawless on. And I'm taking over American Idiots. Me and Dow taking over this weekend. Gee, I think it's my second running, actually, because I did it quite a couple months
ago. You've done it before?
Yeah, I'm getting nervous, but I think I'll be all right with this one. And then we've got a big one next week, which we'll obviously talk about later. But I'm good, man. Looking forward to the show, and there's some good things to talk about. I'm just kind of sad that we've got international football for the next 2 weeks. We've got to deal with all that.
Why are you sad? Just because you were enjoying the Prem? We finally got it back, and now it's taken away from us again.
We've had that really good win against United. We could have been on a really good run, really good, go for it now. And then, England comes in, USA, Ireland. We've got obviously Jamino. We've got all these teams to play now.
We got Jamino.
But there's been some good news that Pep Guardiola could take over England after the Euros. So let's go. We could see silverware at some point. But that's just the rumor. It might not be true. But yeah, I'm all good though, man. I'm all good.
Bro, you are dreaming if you think Pep Guardiola is going
Hey, listen, a boy can
you woke up.
I'll take anyone, man. I'll take anyone in the Southgate ball. But listen, if it's Pep, we're winning. We're winning. I'm telling you. But yeah.
Bro, if you get Pep Guardiola, I'm just then I will be I'll be a UEFA England merchant at that point. Then I'll cheer on England. But yeah, no, I mean, but no, I'm gonna try to be doing a watch along for some of the US games. We play like Uzbekistan and Oman. Okay, so our teams are going to be terrible.
Yeah.
It's going to be terrible football to watch, but we should win those. If we don't win those, then we got big problems if we don't win those. But it is what it is. Yeah. So we'll do watch along. We'll do watch alongs for that, or I'll do watch alongs for that. We'll figure it out because guess what? Connor got figured out, guys.
Got a timer, man.
We got a timer.
Yes.
We're moving up in the world. Watch alongs are coming to TJ Warren TV, everybody. So make sure you set those notifications. Make sure you are subscribing and liking the thing. Obviously, at least USA can stat pad for 2 consecutive games. Well, they're friendly, so they don't mean anything. They don't mean a thing.
Crazy.
They don't mean a thing. Yeah, it's absolutely arbitrary. But yeah, no. Big up everybody inside. We got 3 people watching right now. Sorry, I gotta keep the volume a little low because I got the wife actually working from home today, so I can't be yelling. Obviously, I got the headphones on because of that. But if I seem a little bit reserved today, guys, it's because I'm trying to keep the volume down.
Yeah.
And the low energy, bro, the low energy is not good for me. It's not good for me. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into it a little bit. So we didn't really get a chance to do a match reaction. I went over to Jez's channel and did a little bit of a match reaction. Obviously, I am absolutely buzzing about Arsenal's win over Man United. Yeah. Obviously, if you guys saw the thumbnail, one of Connor's best thumbnails, I think, in my opinion. Gabriel coming into the team. I just want to highlight this, and I don't think it's being talked about enough. Yeah. Obviously, we didn't like seeing Partey get injured, but Partey getting injured forced Arteta to go back to the same back four that he played last season. And what did we see? We were for the most part, we were solid at the back. Obviously, we gave up that terrible, counterattack goal by Rashford. Thanks, Kai Havertz. But we for the most part, other than that, looked pretty solid. I mean, it was a dead game for the first half, in my opinion. Yeah. Obviously, most of the action happened in the last 20 minutes. Obviously, going into extra or injury time. But man. like Gabriel, I think isn't being talked about enough for his ball knowledge on the Garnacho offside. It was offside, by the way. There's no question about that. It was offside. You can bend the lines as much as you want. That's why I'm saying Man United excuses FC. Well, if we would have gotten that Garnacho's goal would have served, we would have had the lead. I'm like, yeah, because you would have had one more goal than we did, but it didn't count. And after that, they were dead in the water. I think before that, they were dead in the water. What was your overall impression from the game, Connor?
I mean, at the end of the day, it is quite funny that the old offside goal thing is all rumored and talked about. Yeah, at the end of the day, and this is not me just being biased. The best team won on the day. Man United was shocking. They were absolutely shocking. The first 20-25 minutes, they had 0 shots. Not even on target. They had 0 shots. We weren't letting them through. They were barely they were barely getting the ball, and all they were doing the whole game was counter-attacking because they couldn't try to get past our formation and our tactics. And what happens, TJ, as you just said, when we play how we played last season, we practically dominate teams. Yes. In terms of creating chances, fair play to United's defence. They were doing pretty well. Saka wasn't getting a sniff for most of that game. Havertz had that opportunity, flunked it. Oh, my God. That could go in as probably worst miss of the season. And it's only September, so there's that. But at the end of the day, the better team won. And I'm not just saying this because I'm an Arsenal fan and I wanted Arsenal to win. I don't understand how anyone can look at that Garnacho goal and say that's onside. You can see his body is ahead of Gabriel. And Gabriel, round of applause. The ball knowledge you have to have and the eyes to know that you are about to play this guy onside, to go backwards, move your arms back.
Literally did the Michael Jackson.
And Arteta dropped him. Arteta actually dropped this guy. Like, it's just crazy, TJ.
Unreal.
But listen, end of the day, the best team won. And as much as I hate last-minute winners and, scraping out at the end, sorry, it was a fantastic ending. And I was with my mates in the pub. My one Man United mate was there. There was literally, I'd say, majority of Arsenal fans in the pub I was in, maybe about 4 United fans. And they were going at it. When it was 2-1, they were like, that's him. That's Garnacho. Who's Saka? And I was like, cool. Say what you want. That offside went in, scenes. Honestly, when that second goal went in for us, TJ, not only was it Declan Rice and my mate, who's a West Ham fan, was there as well. So he was fuming. TJ, it was fantastic. It was so, so good to win that game. And in the way we did as well. Because at the end of the day, like I said, we deserved it. We were the better team on the day. And you can see a lot of United's faults and how I do think going forward this season, they're going to struggle. But I do want to quickly say, Højlund, I think, had a very good 20 minutes when he came on 25 minutes. He does look strong. He does look
made us work.
Yep. I do think he could do bits. The whole Gabriel thing incident where he was grabbing him, I think they were both grabbing each other, weren't they? I don't think there's anything to really scream about. I mean, notice how not any Man United fans are now talking about it because they know they lost the game fair and square, in my opinion. So, they just gave up in the end and they had Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans at the end. I mean, you've literally got Leicester's defence from 2016 in your back line now and you're Manchester United. It's mad, isn't it? It's mad. So
how the mighty have fallen. I mean, especially from last season, man. Like they were a force, not a force last season. I don't want to say a force, but I think they've declined from last season. Yeah, I think the seat under Ten Hag's ass is a little bit hotter now because I don't see them finishing on their current form. I don't see them finishing any higher than 7th.
Wow.
On their current form. I mean, tell me I'm wrong. And I mean, Onana looks a little shaky. Like you can't really blame him for those goals. They were deflections. He's looking shaky.
It was hilarious though when they went 1-0 up and he was banging it, celebrating in the Aaron Ramsdale, like really going for it. And then he conceded. Calm. Listen, is it tough to say he's got a big pair of boots to fill? Because obviously De Gea just left, long running servant of Man United. Yep. Obviously, Man United fans had a lot of problems with him. Some Man United fans really liked him. Some absolutely despised him as a goalkeeper in the later years. So I don't know, but, there was a lot of Man United fans talking about Onana coming in, he's going to be really good. He's going to be really class. And I know he's played, 4 games at the club. You know, he's
Right.
just come in. It's, you know, you're coming in as the starter goalkeeper. It's the Premier League. It's different to, you know, Ajax, and I could say the Serie A as well. But it's not looking good. It's not, and the fact that he's been brought in as your main goalkeeper. It's not like a thing where you've brought in a Onana to sort of fit your way in because De Gea's in there, for example, as the number one. He's sort of going to slot through.
Yeah.
But it's not looking good. There's a lot of faults in that United team, TJ, and I know they signed Amrabat on deadline day, but I don't think it's going to be enough this season, man. I really don't. And if injuries come into play, which they already have for them, I don't know. I don't think it's going to look good.
I'll tell you what, if they lose Casemiro, it's looking long for them.
Then again, TJ,
it's curtains.
I didn't see much of Casemiro on Sunday. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I didn't even see him. I'm going to be so real. Like,
I mean, we were playing with 10 men for 80 minutes too.
Yeah, so. I mean, but also literally the fact that as much as I rate Casemiro, I think he's a fantastic DM. The fact that I maybe I was too busy focusing on Arsenal, but I don't even think I even noticed him in that game. You know, so we'll see. I mean, you see what happened when they played Casemiro on his own in the midfield. He couldn't do anything. He felt lost. He needs a partner next to him. So maybe Amrabat coming in may change that. I'm not too sure, but you know, it's two right-footed midfielders now. They're both right-footed. I don't think Casemiro can play with his left. I don't think Amrabat can either. So it's weighing up options, man. We'll see. And but hey, listen, all I care about is Arsenal. And 10 points out of a possible 12. As much as I would like 12, and that Fulham game was a bit hit and miss. I mean, we should have really beaten Fulham, if I'm going to be honest with you. But hey, listen, 10 points out of 12. I'm not complaining. It could be worse. We could be where Man United and Chelsea are. You know, so.
Yeah, it could be worse, but I'm still, man, like, I'm gonna go back to that Fulham game, and like, if we're talking about this in what 8 months, 7-8 months, saying what if, when are we going to be looking back at that Fulham game? I mean, it's going to be another one of those, you know, losing to Everton away 1-0, and we always lose it. Yeah. We always lose or draw at Goodison. We haven't won at Goodison in how long? It was like 7 or 8 seasons.
Jesus. Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a long time. So the fact that we have to worry about, you know, relegation bound to Everton away again, coming off of an international break, isn't necessarily something that helps me sleep at night. I want to keep on the United game a little bit and maybe talk about Arsenal side just a little bit more. But let's go. Let's say hi to some of the guys in the chat real quick. Neil Sheldon, you're new here, Neil. Big up, Neil. Thank you for coming over, my friend. Make sure that you are subbing and liking the stream and the channel. Really appreciate it. Neil says, big up TJ the Sour Grapes from United fans. Since the results show months have they fallen. Biggest cheers of the day on the bar was on the Rice goal when Harry Maguire came on. Yeah. No, when Harry Maguire, everybody, I mean, you could hear the Emirates. You could hear the Emirates going, "Oh, Harry Maguire!" Yeah. Like I was watching that on holiday with my wife, and I was watching it on this little TV, and I could hear that, and I was just like, they were so loud, it was unbelievable. So yeah, big up to everybody watching at the Emirates. Yeah, so big up, Neil. Thanks for coming by. We got Mr. Post Office Inside, Lenny Moon, Carl Rossi. Who else we got here to there? My boy here is here. Yeah, I think the guys from Jez's people the guy from Jez's streams are starting to coming over. So big up everybody doing that. And then obviously Dal is in the building. Give big up Dal every single time. Dal will be here for the American Idiot Show. Connor is going to be leading the charge on that. I am not, because I have a gig in Chicago, Illinois that I have to fly to. So these guys will be in charge. And they will be having some huge guests already. I mean, every guest we have on here is huge. Let's be honest. I mean, I don't want to big myself up too much, but like, let's be honest. Exactly. It's a huge deal. So yeah. So yeah, and we'll announce the big one coming up on the 16th. No, the 15th. Coming up on the 15th. Here towards the end of the show.
You know why I know it's the 15th? Because I'm so excited. It's the fact I'm on there. I'm on this one. So
yeah, you're on this one.
15th.
That should give the chat a clue as to who it is.
Yeah.
But President Biden. He is coming on.
Yeah, he's back on.
President Biden. Yep. Big up Tony inside too here. So no, let's talk a little bit more about Arsenal's side.
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead and get out of the way. Kai Havertz. Shocking. I gave him a 4. Up until those first 3 games, you can say that he's average, but for a 300K player a week, like you are looking for him to be better than average. So you're talking about like, 6s and 7s in those first 3 games, not really doing much, not contributing, no goals, no assists, no movement in the box. And this time he was an actual detriment. This time he gave the ball away on that Rashford goal. He missed an absolute sitter. Scott, didn't even sky it, airballed it. Like, what do you like? Literally, it was embarrassing. You would not want to see that out of an Arsenal player. I mean, and all of a sudden, you see that, and then you start seeing all these people on Twitter saying, "Hey, do you guys miss freaking? Do you guys miss Granit Xhaka yet?" And I'm like, almost like, no, I still don't miss him. But at the same time, you're like, man, these guys have something to say now, and all these Kai Havertz people that are pushing Kai Havertz on us. What are you telling me now? What are you telling me now? Oh, well, TJ, give him time. No, we don't have time, guys. We don't have time for Kai Havertz to come good in this league. I'm staring at the camera now. We do not have time to wait on this guy. Yep. And Mikel Arteta, I have no idea what he's thinking. But Kai Havertz, man, he's more of a detriment, and he needs to be dropped. He needs to be dropped now. Yep. What do you think, Connor?
I'm kind of regretting what I said at the start of the season about I give him 10 games. I think I'm done already, bro. I think I'm done. Honestly, like it's safe to say that it could have been 4-1. It could have been massive. I think if we got that goal, I genuinely think anyone could have put that in. I don't know whether he's just now his confidence has been shot because he's maybe looking at social media and he knows that people think he's shit, to put it bluntly. But at the end of the day, you are still a professional footballer. You do it in training. You should be putting it in the back of the net. I'm going to say it here and now, TJ. I know we have Emil Smith-Rowe. I know we do. But on the basis of the last 2 games, he's now had 2 assists. Fabio Vieira deserves the start over Kai Havertz now.
Oh.
But I'm sorry.
You said it before I could.
Listen. He deserves it. If you want to really now start getting players into the team and now play players on form, you've got to now play the players who are performing. The fact that Fabio Vieira has come off the bench twice and got both assists.
Yeah.
And has got both assists. And Kai Havertz hasn't done that in the space of practically 2 full games because he's been taken off in about the 70th. Doesn't that just say everything to you? Even Smith-Rowe. I bet Smith-Rowe is now crying for a start in the Arsenal team. But I've seen a thing the other... Big up to Jez. But I've seen a thing the other day.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, big up, man. I've seen a thing the other day. Arteta done a press, and he said that Kai Havertz reminds him of his wife. When he first met her, he didn't know how to break her down, he was a bit nervous around her.
Conquer was the word. Conquer was the word.
But when he got to know, and that's how you just know for a fact, Kai Havertz will not be dropped. Do you know what this takes me back to, TJ? This takes me back to Willian. When Willian first signed for Arsenal, we never dropped him, barely, until practically the end of the season. And this is what it's reminding me of.
Big up, Nico.
As much as I think we want it to happen, I don't think Kai Havertz is getting dropped anytime soon because I think he's now Arteta's new love child. And listen, Arteta said as well, it'll take him a while. He's spoken to Kai Havertz. He said this in press. And he said, I've spoken to Kai Havertz and I've told him it's going to take a while for you to settle in and, get used to things. But I'm thinking, I know it's a new club, new system, but you look at him in games and you think he can't really be asked to be there. To be fair, he did try his best to get that penalty. I respect him for that, even though it was a blatant dive when you look at it on replay. So he was trying there. But in terms of going forward, and he missed that shot, I don't see what he's offering. And then when I see someone like Fabio Vieira coming off the bench who plays in the same position, but then comes on and offers more, surely you've got to look at it in that sense and say he's got to be now playing ahead of him. Just in my opinion, until Kai Havertz proves to himself that he can now go above Fabio Vieira and now say, right, I want my slot back because I'm getting this. Even Smith-Rowe, So, listen, I personally don't think he's going to be dropped because I know Mikel Arteta, and I think he's too arrogant to drop him because he wants to prove people wrong and say, here, like I've bought this player, I don't want to take him off because blah blah. He's my new favourite now. So, but yeah, it is what it is. We've got him now. We've paid the money for him. We've now got him. But I do believe that we've got a bit of another Willian situation on our hands where it's a factor of Arteta just won't drop him no matter how bad he performs, which I think is a shame on the players below in the same position, because if that's the case, players on the bench will never get a sniff at all. I mean,
and that was going to be my next question for you, and I'm just going to let you go off on this. Do you think? And this is a great question, so I'm gonna from here to there, I'm gonna go ahead and put this on. How soon does Arteta lose the locker room playing Havertz over ESR, Trossard, and Vieira? I understand why he doesn't play Trossard in the middle. Like we need him as a cover for Martinelli, in my opinion. Late sub, he comes on and provides that stability, provides that killer instinct, in my opinion. And we could also start him, do a rotation for Martinelli, or even Jesus in that number 9 position if Nketiah, Nketiah doesn't do the job, which I don't think he necessarily did, but we can get onto that in a minute. But how soon does Arteta start affecting some of those people that are lying behind Havertz in the depth chart when Havertz is not doing the job?
I mean, let's look at it in hindsight, TJ. When Arteta's come into the job, how many times has he realistically dropped players in a sense of they perform bad, let's drop them? He very rarely does it. And I do feel sorry for these players that are on the bench that are thinking, why am I here?
Yeah.
The boss has given me the number 10, Smith Rowe. The boss has paid £35 million to me, Fabio Vieira. How am I performing better than this guy that's ahead of me, personally, and you can see it on the pitch, but I'm not getting ahead of him. And the problem is, I don't think I have a feeling that some of the players are too scared, and not in a rude way, just because I think it's how Arteta is. I think some of the players are too worried to go to his door and say, boss, I want game time. Because I think that they will then go to do that and then think that he will now no longer respect them and then leave them rotting on the bench. That's how I see things. Because notice how, and I know it's a bit early now since it got aired, but when you watch the All or Nothing documentary, we never saw any of that. When it was Jose Mourinho in Tottenham, players were coming in the door all the time to say, boss, this, that. I mean, you remember the iconic thing of Danny Rose? I mean, Danny Rose is a lot different to our situation, but he literally went into Jose Mourinho's office and said, boss, I'm not playing games. Where's my game time? These guys have been crap on training all week. I tried my best and I'm still not playing. Now, listen, it could be a situation where Arteta didn't want to be filmed in his office with talking to players. But if you've got to be looking at it in that sense, that's just how I feel. I do feel like maybe some players are too worried to go to Mikel and say, can I get game time? Because Mikel might say, right, I don't respect you anymore. It's right on the bench. Go to the reserves.
Well, no, and that's another thing. That's another thing too that I wanted to kind of talk about is that you have, Arteta is more than happy to let the cameras into his house, but he isn't willing to let him into his office with him while he's having conversations with these players. He wants to control the narrative, which is why you see these absolutely unbelievable answers to some of these questions during the pressure. And these are softball questions, by the way. Let's have it right. Like, these are not hard questions to answer. Why are you not having, are you going to go back to your Arsenal fans are crying out for it? You don't need to give this long, convoluted answer about how you get to London Colney and equate it to all you gotta say is we're trying a new formation, where I'm trying to have Partey go inverted into the midfield and play a back 3. And that's all that he was doing. That's all he needed to say. And we're trying to make this work with all of the talent we have in the midfield. Like, that's all you need to say. You don't need to be given this whole speech about how you get to London Colney. Nobody cares. Everybody just wants the club to win and win in a fashion that shows you that, hey, we are actually trying to win this title. Yeah. We are trying to win this title. That's all I can really get out of it, honestly. Yeah. And you saw him controlling the narrative. Like, he doesn't like any players doubting his views, how he handles things, not showing him respect. You saw that with Aubameyang. I'm willing to bet you Kieran Tierney probably went to him and said, hey, I'm languishing here on the bench. I'm in the prime of my career and I need to be playing. And he says, hey, let's go. We're going to go ahead and put you out on loan then, because I can't guarantee you the game time, because I need to be playing Zinchenko inverted. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it really, with Arteta, like, I feel like people are giving him too much credit around how he's trying to be like the smartest guy in the room. No, he's just trying to implement his strategy. That's all he's doing. And his strategy doesn't align with what the majority of the Arsenal fan base thinks works. He does. And I don't agree with it. And for a fact, Connor, and I'm sorry I'm going off here. I'll ask you another question here in a second, but I want to get this point across. I don't think that if our party got injured, we wouldn't have seen Gabriel start that game. And if Gabriel doesn't start that game, we wouldn't have beaten Man United.
Yeah, fact.
I'm dead serious because he's trying so hard to make Havertz work. He was willing to drop arguably one of the best center backs in the league, not just on the team, in the league. And there is an argument for Gabriel to be at least top 10 center back in the Premier League, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I don't have the stats behind it. That is my opinion. That is my feeling. So you saw that, especially with the insane ball knowledge that you talked about earlier when putting Garnacho offside. Like this guy, yes, he does have some bozo gene in him. I get it. But this guy's ball knowledge is and his awareness of where he is on the field, putting people off, getting into areas where the ball is going to be, being there, blocking balls in the box. Like this guy is an absolute worker. Like the fact that Gabriel is getting dropped for this formation that is not producing goals, I think is shambolic. So, I hate to say, I hate to say like maybe Party being injured wasn't such a bad thing. So you can kind of see, I never want to see anybody injured. I want to be honest,
DJ. But if we're going to look at it, another reason why it was probably a good thing, even though I never want Partey injured, look how well we performed in the midfield, bar Havertz, with Declan Rice, when Partey wasn't there. Now, you could say it's United, and they're on a really bad run of form at the moment, but when I used to think that we had Thomas Partey out, I used to think, right, our midfield's finished. We will not survive. But we controlled it really well. And Declan Rice, as Jamie, I'm very sorry, and you got to say, done very, very well. But
man of the match.
But you look at it and see that midfield had so much composure to it. And even when Zinchenko was going into the midfield at one point, there's so much more composure. And now I don't have to worry that Partey's now out for 6 weeks. Our midfield is going to crumble because Declan Rice now offers that. He offers that composure. His passing accuracy is 91% so far this season, 92%, which is crazy in my opinion. I think he's one now of the top passes so far in the league in terms of midfield. He's really doing the job for us. And that's where I really, really was so excited to bring him into the club because you can now see the difference that he makes. And now he can get the odd goal, as was proven. So that's also another good thing why, in not a horrible way, because I wanted him there anyway, if he was played in the midfield, Thomas Partey being out, because we can now see that not just he played with a back four, but also we don't have to rely on Thomas Partey being there now. So that's another thing. And just wanted to point that out quickly.
No, that's a great thing to point out. We're not talking like, and here's another thing that isn't being, we're giving everybody their flowers that needs to be given their flowers from this because I think the 90th minute, really, the injury time, 2 goals really overshadowed the rest of the game. I mean, the game was dead for a majority of it, but there were some really, really key people in the starting 11. Yeah. So, I mean, let's talk about Odegaard.
Yeah.
What a game.
Yeah.
He showed up. What a finish. Was the captain that we expect him to be, actually leading by example. Like, and I know if you've been watching this channel for a long time, Odegaard doesn't necessarily fit into my positive category in terms of Arsenal captains, but that finish and the way that he kept the club together and the team together during that game against United, where we weren't necessarily clicking 100% of the time. We weren't, but he showed up and he did his job and he said, okay, guys, and he didn't celebrate. He picked up the ball and said, let's go get another one. Like, I was extremely impressed by that, where a lot of other people would be going off, knee sliding into the corner flag, kicking it over, doing all that stuff.
He did a punch in the air and said, yeah.
That's it. Yep. No, let's get back to it. No, I was extremely impressed with him. I was extremely impressed with, Saliba did well. Zinchenko really didn't put a foot wrong. Really the only people that you can question in that game were Havertz and unfortunately Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka has been looking either tired or people have figured him out. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Bukayo Saka, man? And obviously, if you're in the chat right now, make sure you are smashing the likes. We got who's in it? Yeah, big AJ in the chat is counting the likes for us. 21 likes, get us up to 25, everybody. Yeah, but Bukayo Saka, Connor, what do you think?
Yeah, it isn't fantastic. I actually thought he'd have a bit of a field day the other day because obviously he was going up against the likes of Anthony and Dallo, and to be fair to Wan-Bissaka, he had a bit of a decent game, to be fair to him. But it's another thing where I've mentioned again, TJ, that Saka's getting a bit found out. He always now especially against the teams we've played, you will now see, guys, please watch Bukayo Saka now, and you probably do. Well, with what I'm about to say. He will now, and same with Martinelli, he will now have 2 players on him at all times, opposition players. All time. They will, unless the opposition manager hasn't recognised it and just hasn't put it in his tactics, majority of the time, Saka is now going to be watched by 2 players. 100%. It happened against Man United. And unfortunately, because of that, he wasn't allowed to create chances. And he really didn't have a great game against Man United, in all honesty. And that's no disrespect towards Saka. It's just the truth. And I think he could probably say that in himself. He didn't have a fantastic game. But it's because he was getting locked down so much. He didn't know what to do. So Arteta now and Saka himself has to find a way to now create chances without doing what he loves doing, which is cutting inside. And I know it's difficult for a winger, and especially the football that Saka likes to play. But now it's now a fixation of Saka, and now needs to work out other ways to create chances. He has to, because otherwise it's going to go further down into the season, and it's going to be the same thing over and over and over again. And I think Saka's more than capable of doing that, because Saka's a fantastic footballer. We all know this. He's just won England Player of the Year, whatever. Today he got. He
just got nominated for the Ballon d'Or too. He won't win it, but he got nominated.
So so he's got talent. He knows what to do on the football pitch. He's very smart. He's very well skilled. But now he's got to figure out a way, because I bet he'll now know after that Man United game, he now needs to clock on and find another solution to get past players. So hopefully he does, and then he'll crack on and do a better job. But for now, if he carries on the way he does, it's going to be a bit tricky for him going forward. Ben White overlapping helps him out a lot, because that gives the left back, whoever it is, more of a problem, because he's now like, well, I can't watch Bukayo. I'm going to have to go watch Ben White, because you can't have Ben White overlapping on his own, because otherwise he'll cross it in or either go into the box and then make the assist and possibly get a goal from it. So there's that. But you've got to come up with something else. Arteta came out the other day. He's got 42 different tactics, whatever it was, when he was on about the thing about
42 different defensive combinations or defensive formations.
Is that even possible with any of our players?
Well, no. My reaction to that, and I said this on Jez's stream, I'll say it again here. Like, which one of those formations was the one where Fulham scored with 10 men? Well, like, can you get rid of that one at least? Can you say that you're going to change that one?
Yeah.
Can you give us, Mikel? Can you give us that? Just give us that, please.
Well, fingers crossed. The only way I can see that being solved, TJ, is if they come up with a different way for Saka to create chances. So we'll see with that. We will see. I think we have a couple of star things, don't we, that we need to go through.
Yeah, no. Get to it. Throw them in there.
Which is kind of crazy. Jermaine said at the start of the show, TJ,
oh my God.
You've been doing YouTube for 6 months. In this month, time's gone so quick. It has, man.
Dude, my first show was on March 10th. Don't go back and watch it. It was probably one of the most embarrassing things I think I will ever do. I think I'll have go watch it. More views. No, but it's one of those things where I was so uncomfortable that like even now I feel like I'm still uncomfortable, but I was so uncomfortable there that it's actually hard to watch. And I was asking questions where people were like, why are we doing this on an Arsenal channel? Like that kind of thing. So it takes a while to learn, and I'm still learning. But 6 months. We're almost to 500 subs. Make sure if you're new, go and smash that sub button. But we're almost to 500 subs. Like, it's a huge deal for me, and it's an honor, man. It's awesome. So yeah, it's been great, and obviously you and Dal going on this journey with me, and all of our our partner channels, Tony Claude, the Southern Gooner,
GTV.
yeah, Tottenham Away,
Yeah.
and obviously the Perchy TV, like all of our partners helping us grow,
Yeah.
and helping this channel grow. And again, I want to shout out Flawless and Sarcasm Cities TV too, because they're I've been a quasi regular on there lately too. So yeah, I'm blessed for sure.
100%.
So.
We have Wolfgang in here. I think
Yep.
Wolfgang, we speaking with me and TJ and Dal speaking earlier. If you're still in the chat, we are going to get you on the show at some point, whether it's an American Idiot, whether it's a midweek, whether it's whatever. So I think we hear you're a Chelsea fan as well at times.
Yeah.
I can't remember what you said, but I think yeah. So I think that's something.
No, that was Wolfgang. Was that your YouTube debut, man? Like on Just Stream earlier?
I think
you were cooking.
Yeah, man.
You were cooking, man. You were made to do the YouTube commentary thing. That was awesome.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
100%. So
yeah, were you nervous? You didn't look nervous at all.
Exactly. So Wolfgang, we'll get you on at some point, man. Definitely, we always have to get new people on. So there was that. We sort of went through that anyway. This is an interesting one though from Drew. TJ, we'll let you go for this one, man. When Arteta rushed him straight back into the starting 11 because we know Arteta does this. He likes to do this when players come back from injury, just shove them straight back into the team. And we know what happens when we've injured Thomas Partey before. We've made it worse. Can we do that again? I wonder.
Here's what I'm thinking is I think if he's smart, he's going to do what he's doing with Jesus currently with Jesus and Nketiah. Jesus is not starting, even though I think Jesus should be starting. I mean, you saw that goal against United. My Lord.
Yes.
What a goal. What a goal.
So much composure.
Yeah, like this guy, it was nothing to him. And I love Gabriel Jesus is probably behind Saka, my favorite Arsenal player. I'm not gonna lie. Like Gabriel Jesus, what a baller. But yeah, I think he's gonna continue to start behind when he comes back from injury. Let me start over. When he comes back from injury, Partey is gonna be on the bench for a couple of games. And then I would not be surprised if against like a Luton Town or a Sheffield United or a lower league team that he goes back to that same Partey at right back 3-4-3 because he's trying to make it work. And he's still trying to get a tune out of Kai Havertz. And it's December. And most of the Arsenal fan base are drinking bleach because we're afraid we're going to drop out of the top 4. Like I could definitely see that happening, man. I could definitely see that happening. Like it's one of those things where we know it doesn't work. And I don't see Arteta changing his tune. But in terms of Partey, I think he's going to ease him back in. I really think he will, kind of like Jesus will. And I wouldn't be surprised. Like, don't be surprised if you see Jesus starting. Like, I don't expect him to start against Everton, but I do expect him to start against Spurs.
I wouldn't mind him to start against Everton, in all honesty, because as much as Eddie has got the 2 goals, he wasn't great against United, and he loved playing.
He wasn't.
So,
if you look at Eddie and look, people say, like, TJ, you have an Eddie agenda, you're against Eddie, blah blah blah. No, I'm not. Look at how many times Eddie gave the ball away in that United game, like dead through passes. Like every time he looked up, you saw he had the ball. He was giving it away in the midfield. Like go back and watch. It was, and we usually get into our feelings about Eddie and Nketiah. Like you either like Eddie and Nketiah or you don't. There's not really an in between. I'm on the don't side because of the very reason why what I just stated. He was giving the ball away. He didn't get in a position to score. He was not scoring goals. And obviously there are people that say, oh, well, TJ, he has 2 goals. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. But look at the way he is playing and look at his ball possession. And I would rather have Gabriel Jesus in the number 9 any day of the week.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it shows the difference in my opinion, because you can see with Gabriel Jesus how composed he is when he wants to be, when he goes for a goal, because realistically, a striker could have fluffed what he done the other day. You know, it takes a lot of composure and a lot of balls to do what he done, to roll it past, and then obviously went straight past Maradona. So, in my opinion, you know, at the end of the day, he is on. It's difficult to say because obviously, you know, you do have Nketiah, but let's keep it real. Jesus is our main number 9. He is our striker. Let's keep it real. He is our main striker. Yep. And when he's back on scoring form, you don't want to be keeping him on the bench. As much as Eddie has had a good, technically has had a good start with Arsenal this season, a dangerous Gabriel Jesus is a lot better than a dangerous Nketiah, in my opinion. And the thing with having Jesus on the pitch is, I don't think he likes to be central for a lot of the time. Because when he did come on against United, don't forget, he was on the wing. He was on the right.
Yeah, he was playing on the wing. Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Nketiah was still there, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing. He likes to switch with either Martinelli or Saka. He likes to switch on. I think even sometimes he even goes further back and Odegaard goes ahead.
I mean, he was on the right and freaking and Reece Nelson was on the left.
Yeah. So
I mean, crazy in the last 10 of that game.
Exactly. So the thing with Gabriel Jesus that I like is he's a creative player, but he's not an out and out striker. That's why that's why it would have been so ideal if he was available. That again, sorry Eddie, I don't have an agenda. I just prefer Gabriel Jesus. I would have sold Nketiah, bought in Ivan Toney, and that way we've got so much options up front. When you've got Ivan Toney, who can be the main guy up front, you've got Jesus who can switch back and forth if he wants to. He can go to the right, he can go to the left, he can still play centrally. You've got Trossard who can do the exact same. And then you've obviously got Martinelli and Saka, and then obviously you've got Reece Nelson if you want to bring Reece Nelson if you want to. So that's what I was really looking at. We don't have many options when it comes to a central striker. We could have had it in Flo Balogun, but we sold him. So we're sort of at a point where if we want a dead-on central striker, we have it in Nketiah, but when I mean we want goals, I don't think we have that. So that's one thing to throw out. But as I went up,
big up, Fran.
Yeah, big up, Fran.
Fran's back. Yeah, happy belated, Fran.
Yeah,
Fran. When are you coming on the channel? Just let us know. We'll roll out the red carpet for you. Man. Come on the channel for this show next week.
Yeah, 100%.
Fran, just put it in your calendar. Don't say no. You're busy. No, you're not busy. You're not too busy for TJ and Connor. Okay, so come on down, Fran. No, I'm just kidding, Fran. Big up.
Yeah, no,
we're glad you're back.
Big up, Fran. I went off a bit there, but yeah, no, Gabriel Jesus. In my opinion, especially how crap Everton have been, they are so bad at the moment. I think they're 19th, 18th, like that. So put Jesus out there. Nothing to stop you. And if Jesus doesn't have a great game, put Eddie back in there. There's nothing wrong with rotating because at the end of the day, when the Champions League fixtures come in, TJ, we're gonna be rotating. So it's gonna happen either way. But I wouldn't mind seeing him against Everton. So I believe. Do we have Everton then the first Champions League game? I think that's how it works, doesn't it?
Yeah, Everton, and then
PSV.
Sevilla. Or is it PSV?
Don't ask me.
I
think
check us, chat. Let us know.
I think it's PSV Eindhoven, yeah, on the Wednesday.
Okay.
So so they'll be rotated either way. And I saw things today. We could talk about this now, actually, quickly.
Yeah, let's do it.
Seeing things about David Raya possibly now coming in for Ramsdale. Arteta is now looking to possibly put him in. Personally, I know bar the Rashford goal, Ramsdale couldn't really do anything about that. I'd have been very surprised if many goalkeepers could have done things about that.
Yeah.
Same one. Big up Ola, man. Ola's
big up Ola, man. Ola, you absolute legend.
I generally think Ola is probably the nicest guy on sports YouTube content that I know.
Well, yeah.
I
don't think that's a question.
You're a legend, bro.
No, but he's an absolute legend.
I was saying, David Raya possibly coming in to replace Aaron Ramsdale. I want to say the other day, Aaron Ramsdale had a very good game the other day. Fantastic game. Want to make that very clear. He had a very, very good game. In my opinion, he couldn't have saved that Rashford shot. I don't think many goalkeepers could have saved that Rashford shot. It was a very, very good
incredible shot. I mean, it was an incredibly taken goal.
It was a very good goal. And defensively, Ben White could have done better. That's probably the only thing I would have said. The thing with I was saying this a couple of times when I was at the pub. I lost my voice because of it. We didn't stick out many legs. I want to see more legs being stuck out. Yes, you don't really want to commit the foul. You don't want to be booked. You want to be more cautious. But there's some points where you just think, oh, my days, stick out a leg. You're not in the box.
Well, why wasn't somebody more central on that Rashford finish? Like you saw You saw White and Saliba like right parallel with each other. Like, why was somebody not defending more central in the box? And I'm honestly asking that because I want to learn more. I need to learn more about this game. Like, why wasn't there more people central?
A suggestion I'd put out personally, maybe because you don't want to be blocking the goalkeeper's eye of line.
Oh, yeah. No. Screening him. Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the day, he's got to be seeing where the ball's coming from. I mean, I'd have liked to have thought, because I can't remember on the replay, I'd have liked to have thought Gabriel and Zinchenko were marking Anthony and Martial. But Anthony and Martial, that's quite funny, actually. Yeah. So, yeah, at the end of the day, I would have liked a clean sheet, but you look at it realistically, that goal made us better because we slapped back straight away. But, yeah, the question I wanted to throw to you, TJ, is would you put in Raya? Because we do have Everton coming up. I personally, if we're going to do it like this, I wouldn't mind seeing Raya in our first Champions League game. I think that's fair. I personally think that's fair.
I agree with you. Do not start him in the Prem, especially when we have Spurs coming up. We have a North London derby coming up against the Spurs that apparently they're cooking now under Ange in the league. Like, we can banter them about losing to Fulham, but they are doing well. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think some of them some of those Spurs fans, and I'm not going to name names, Tottenham away, but some of you guys are gassing up this Burnley victory like you guys just got into the semi in the Champions League. It was a Burnley away. They are awful.
Yeah, they're not
like
great.
Big up Vincent Company, but they are awful, and they look like they are going to go right back down.
They got to everyone at Tottenham away, but when they lost that game to Fulham, the first
my God,
was us then drawing to them. Oh, but at least you drew to them. This was our second team. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you lost. Deal with it. You're at the cup. You ain't winning nothing this season.
It's absolutely shambolic.
Tottenham away, by the way. Mari, Stel, Will, all the people on that show. Even Stefan, he's an Arsenal fan. I like Stefan. But by God, you lost the game.
Yeah, Deji yesterday. Yeah, shameless.
Yeah,
shameless.
Deji, get on here, man. Have your opinion. If you're watching, get on American Idiots. We need you on here, man.
No, Deji. Here's the thing: Deji's running because he doesn't want to run into you. He doesn't want to run into me, and he definitely doesn't want to run into Dow. So,
yeah, I know. But big up to Tottenham away.
No, I agree with you. Though. On the Raya situation, everybody's crying out for Raya. I don't think the goal that any goals that Ramsdale has conceded are necessarily his fault. Maybe you can give him spaghetti hands for the goal he conceded against Forest, but I think he was dead to rights against Rashford.
The Fulham one, as we know, when he was off his line for the Andres Pereira.
Oh yeah, that was bad.
That one was bad.
You have to remind me of that. I've been trying to pull that one out of my mind. But no, I think do not shake up the lineup too much, especially when we're going to be playing against Spurs, a game that we must win. That is not a game. That is not an optional game for us. That is a must win. We have to beat them.
Yeah.
Mostly because my YouTube career will be over. I've talked way too much crap on this platform for us to lose. So real quick, we're going to wrap up probably here in about 10-15 minutes, guys, because I got to go back to work. But big up everybody inside, obviously. Big up Tony Claude, Allah, the Fight Week Show. If you have not subscribed to the Fight Week Show and you are watching this on playback or you are new, go over to the Fight Week Show, go to your YouTube bar and just type in the Fight Week Show and hit that subscribe button. Allah is an absolute legend. He covers UFC and obviously does the watch-alongs with the one and only Lee Gunner. So, we'll get Deji back on.
He was meant to be on.
What were you gonna say?
He was meant to be on 2 weeks ago, but he didn't make it. So we'll get him on. Definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe for the last 10 minutes, if you guys want to throw in questions into the chat, little bit of like a Q&A. If you want to throw anything in, that'd be good. I mean, one thing I did want to quickly bring up was while people are getting their questions in, it could be anything, guys.
Yeah.
Nketiah has just been called up to England. I want to say round of applause for him, by the way. I mean, as much as I do think it was a bit of like Ivan Toney's not available, maybe that's why he's gone in. I mean, to be fair, he has scored a couple goals so far. I think it was 2 goals so far. So that might have got him a landslide in. But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know personally, but I can tell if you're from England and you want to play for England, and you end up getting the jersey, and you end up, even if you're on the bench, the fact that you get called up for your club, it's a massive thing. And the fact that Eddie is still pretty young in terms of football age. He's only, 24, 25. So that's massive. And at the end of the day, he's been called up, and respectfully so. You know, as much as people want to say, oh, Ollie Watkins or Callum Wilson. Actually, I think Callum Wilson may have got picked. I can't remember. But yeah, there's options. But at the end of the day, he got picked. So fair play to him. And yeah, respect to him for that. And I hope, I don't think he'll get game time personally, because we all know what Southgate's like. He won't give game time to anyone bar his favourites. So, yeah, but I just wanted to quickly say that. Big up to Eddie. Well done for getting the call up, because at the end of the day, it's a massive achievement. So,
no, it is an absolutely massive achievement. Unfortunately, he's going to be playing Southgate ball, so I'm not expecting him to do much.
Yeah, but are we playing Pep ball next year? So it's all right. Pep.
Oh my
next
God.
World Cup.
That is the most insane, stupid rumor. If no, I will wear an England shirt on this stream if you guys get Pep. Mate, if you guys then I will become a UEFA England supporter.
If we get
when you guys are not playing the Americans, I will cheer on England.
If we get Pep, TJ, it's curtains. It's curtains.
I think that this is the same rumor that was saying that Mourinho was going to come to the United States. It's the same stupid rumor mill.
When did Mourinho say to come to the United States? When was that?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, is that people were saying, oh yeah, no, Mourinho might come to the United States. We're asking their inquiry. Like, we couldn't even get Jesse Marsh.
Yeah.
So
who's your manager over in the States? Who is it?
Oh God, what's his name?
Is he
Greg Berhalter? Greg Berhalter.
Who the hell is that?
He's fine, but he sometimes he plays freaking terrorist fossil football.
Who did you say it was?
Greg Berhalter. 2 G's.
You got Brian Callahan, mate.
Greg Callahan was there, but I think Bullhalter's coming back, but Callahan is in charge of the team right now.
The thing is,
because he had that issue with Reina during the World Cup that caused him some issues.
Okay, got ya. Well, hey, at least you still got Flo Balogun, so you can actually still be able to
absolutely.
Watch it. So fair.
Yeah, no. So let me highlight this. AJ says, TJ, just want to say thank you for making me feel welcome. My first here will definitely coming back to help you guys grow. Hey, no, thank you, AJ. Appreciate it, brother. Make sure you are subscribing and hitting that like button, my friend. No, you come back here anytime, brother. We got a family here. It's a family atmosphere. Big up.
Big up.
Yeah. All right. So we got 3. I got 3 stars here, or 2 stars. Sorry. Let's go to Jaminho real quick. Would you guys consider selling Party? I'm seriously considering that I would do it. I'm sick of him consistently being injured, and we have some big games coming up. Connor, you got to take this one first, bro.
I'd only sell Party if we knew we had a guaranteed better replacement coming in for him. And I can't think of one on the top of my head because we've already brought in Declan Rice. But if we were going to obviously bring someone in of the same quality or better, then yeah, because he's coming to 31 now. He is 31, coming to 32 soon. So he's getting on, and he will eventually get more injuries, in my opinion. I mean, we're looking at TJ. We're even looking to sell him in the summer. Mm-hmm. You know, Saudi teams and some Italian teams were calling for him. So maybe next summer could be a summer where he leaves. But I'd only ever sell Partey the same when we sold Granit Xhaka if a good replacement was coming in, i.e. Rice. So yeah, listen, I'm all for doing it if we were to get a better option ahead of him. But if not, not for me. But hey, listen, he might move on next summer from the way we're moving this summer. So we'll see.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I agree with that. Like, look, a Party where you get maybe 70% of the games out of him is better than a lot of the other CDMs that are available on the market, or you would perceive as being available on the market. I hate to say it, but we cannot afford to sell somebody of Partey's quality, because he is quality. When he is being played in his natural position, he is one of the best CDMs in the league. Like, all you heard about last season was Partey or Casemiro, Partey or Casemiro, Partey or Casemiro. Obviously, he fell off at the end of last season, but there was that conversation of who's the MVP at that position this season, Partey or Casemiro. So when you're in that conversation with somebody world class like Casemiro, you can't just let him go.
Yeah,
without a viable replacement. So I agree with you 100%.
I think this is you go on.
Go ahead.
I want to put you up something in a second. I think this is quite hilarious.
Okay. Boys, do you think Arteta will change the formation again or stick to how the teams finished against United? He has to stick to it while Party's out.
We literally, that is our best game we've played all season. If he is that deluded.
And it really wasn't even that good.
Yeah, and if he's that deluded to think, right, I'm going to go back to what I said originally, then he's a muppet. But now, so before I put this on, I know there's a lot of controversy going around about this, but I just think this is quite funny.
Go for it.
It's just to do with Man United, more banter, because they're muddled as it is. MUFC dressing room believes Anthony is shit anyway and want him gone. Oh, man. And listen, it's from The Sun. TJ, if you don't know, The Sun is probably one of the worst newspaper outlets in the
I know. I've heard about it over here.
That's hilarious. That he believe he's shit anyway and want him gone. I mean, listen, I don't blame him because he is crap. £80 million. Bro, he costs more than Pepe. Deep that. He is shocking. He is absolutely shocking. Honestly, I think that's hilarious.
No, when he caught that case, I'm sure a lot of the Man United fans were like, yes, we don't have to watch this guy anymore.
Yeah.
Absolute passion merchant. Like I've said that since the beginning. Yeah, he got that goal against us at OT in his debut, but what has he done since then?
Exactly.
Like he is crap. And if you ask any United content creator, they will agree with me on that. And they'll agree with us on that. It's not hard to say that this guy cannot handle Premier League football. He just can't. He's garbage.
TJ, United are mudded, man.
They're absolutely mudded.
I'm telling you, there's more chance of me winning the lottery than the Qataris taking over Man United. It's not happening. If the Qataris were going to take over Man United, it'd have been done by now. It is not happening. It is not happening. I'm sorry. I don't see it happening. And honestly, as much as I respect Ten Hag as a manager, I'm watching this season. I'm thinking, what's going on? Because he did win in the Carabao Cup last season. I think that's a really good achievement. First season coming in, he won them a trophy. But it's just like the way they've been playing, it doesn't look right. Like it doesn't look like what they were playing. Obviously they finished third last season. It's just like it doesn't look like what they were playing. So, no. and I think they've been lowered in valuation now or something. Obviously the thing with Anthony's come up. Mason Greenwood's been put out on loan. He's not been permanently transferred. So much going on with that club. And do you know what? It was so unfortunate, but I missed Roy Keane's analysis after the game because I love watching Roy Keane. As much as I don't like him because of Arsenal and all the history to do with him and Arsenal, even to do with him as a player when some of the stuff he done. But he is great as a pundit, in my opinion, and some of the stuff he says about United is hilarious. And but I'm telling you, I reacted to what you said earlier about them finishing nowhere above 7th. Do you know what? I disagreed with you in my head, but do you know what? I kind of agree with you now. The more I deep it and think about it, I do generally think United could be really muddled this season, especially the fact that their depth and their injury record at the moment is woeful. It's very bad, especially defensively, and especially going forward in the attack.
They can't. There is nobody in that club that will save them. Like obviously, you got Højlund. You got Amrabat coming in. We haven't seen what they can do, but I don't think that they're enough to save them. They aren't making Champions League. They aren't. Like let's just have that right now. I don't think that they're making top 4. And I had them in the top 4, but you watch that, you see the quality in their team, you see all the holes they have, especially in the midfield right now. I mean, man, and who's scoring for them? I don't see Højlund. Can you honestly tell me that Højlund's going to deliver 20 goals plus in the season?
It'll be interesting. So. Listen, I've seen a lot of things from people saying, he's quality, he's this and that. I've never personally watched him. What I will say from the 20 minutes of football, 25 minutes that I've seen of him, he looks promising. I won't deny that. I'm not going to say he's crap, he's all this. He looked promising for 25 because he had a chance on goal, obviously didn't deliver. But I do think he could be all right. But I agree with you. Bar Rashford and maybe Bruno the odd time, I don't see them getting goals. I don't think Mason Mount's going to produce as much as probably Mason Mount's the better option than Kai Havertz. I don't see him producing what they want for the amount they bought him for. And again, the amount of injuries they've got. Martial is injured every 10 minutes at this point, so I don't see him producing. And when you look at the terms of the bench, especially if Anthony does leave the club, by the way, their backups are possibly Mount, who can play on the wing if he wants to, but he's played there already for Man United and he ain't been great. They've got Pellegrini and Garnacho. I mean, Garnacho is meant to be a good prospect. I am a bit iffy about him because he's only 19. He's got loads more time to grow. He's been good for United when he's come in. He's got way more time to really grow.
Yeah, no, he could develop into a player for sure, but keep going.
It's awful, TJ. It's so bad. You know, and they, I'll get a thing up. I think they have the most. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. They have the biggest net spend in the world since 2013 of 1.3 billion euros. Since 2013, and how much have they won since then? What? 3-4 trophies?
Yeah.
So it's nuts, you know, and as much as.
And when was the last time they won the Prem? They won the Prem in 13, right?
2012-13, yeah. So
yeah, so it's like, as you spent that much money, and what have you won over 10 years? A Carabao Cup and an FA Cup.
Yeah, they've won 5. Yeah, they've won 5. So they've won 1 FA Cup, 1 EFL, no, 2 EFLs. Beg your pardon. A Europa League, a Community Shield,
That
the
doesn't
FA
count.
Cup. Yeah. And does the Premier League really count? I don't think it does since 2013. So you want to sort of
no. I'm counting since 2013. That's what I'm saying.
So it hasn't been great, and I mean it hasn't been great since Ferguson left. Really, let's keep it real. Since Alex Ferguson left, it really hasn't been fantastic.
I mean, and Dow was waxing about that on American Idiots with Flawless on, man. He was talking about like maybe United just doesn't have the pull that they used to have because they don't have Alex Ferguson. Yeah, obviously they're the biggest English team in the world.
Yeah,
but you wouldn't know it from the way that they play and their profile of play over the last 10 years. You wouldn't know it.
You just look at the amount of times they've been linked with certain players and it just hasn't come through. And you do see a lot of United fans, sort of holding and hoping onto certain things, but it just, I don't know what. At the end of the day, I do think it does come down to the ownership. I mean, I can't speak on United because I don't know Man United fully. So take Hot Fuzz, if he was here, he'd probably tell me a lot.
Probably, he'd be rinsing us.
And what I know about what I'm saying about United, but as much as it goes back to it does go down to the ownership. As much as the ownership have put in that amount of money, 1.3 billion, since well, probably even more than that, but with the net spend, it does sort of come down to that. The stadium's awful. They've got there's leaks in the stadium. There's so much wrong with it, man. And listen, I could be proven wrong, but when we come back from international break, United could win everything for all I know. Anything can happen in football, but yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking good for United. And who knows? They could have a Chelsea season. Well, a Chelsea double season, because even Chelsea aren't looking great at the moment. But I feel like that's a conversation for another day, maybe.
Yeah, no, we got to start wrapping up here because I got to go back to work here in about 8 minutes. But we want to say, hey, big up the chat, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on the Midweek Show. This has been the Midweek Show, episode number 7. But before we go, while we have 17 people inside, make sure you are smashing the likes. Make sure you are subbing if you are new. Watching on playback, thank you for watching on playback if you do. We got a big announcement. We do. So there's this guy. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. His name's Lee Gunner. He will be joining us on episode 27 of the American Idiots show. We will have myself, we will have Dal, and Connor, who is grinning from ear to ear, will be on that show. So make sure that you mark your calendars. September 15th. Lee Gunner will be joining us here on TJ Warren TV for the American Idiot Show. He is an absolute legend. I reached out to him. He said yes. He's always willing to help out some of the smaller channels like us. So big up Lee Gunner. He's an absolute legend. So mark your calendar. I believe we're going at 8 p.m. UK time for that one.
Yeah.
So it will be a little bit earlier. But yeah, make sure that you guys are marking your calendars for that one. We are absolutely over the moon. And again, thank you, Lee, for coming on and helping us out. And yeah, just being an absolute legend. So yeah. Connor, anything to add to that?
I'm buzzing. I can't wait. I mean, we saw the popularity of the show when he was last on, and he was such a. We all know that Lee's behind the scenes. I mean, a lot of people say a lot of things about Lee. And listen, I'm not arsing Lee. I'm just saying what I've seen from him. He's such a helpful guy. I mean, even with my editing stuff, he's always promoted me. Like, even when he just sees me in the chat, like I haven't spoken to Lee for quite a while now. Probably since I was doing stuff for him with his second channel and stuff. Every time he still sees me, he still promotes me. He doesn't have to, but he does. Oh, absolute legend. And can't wait to have him on. And this is actually because obviously I wasn't on the last one, the first one that you guys had with him. So I'm looking forward to this one. I'm pretty sure the chat will, and the many other people that will be joining as well for it. So I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and the work that guys this is a huge community, right? And we lift each other up, right? And there are some people that are reaching out to me saying, "Hey, TJ, will you come on my channel?" Like, and I am honored to be even asked to do that. And like the fact that it's reciprocal. You always give back to your community. So if any smaller channels ever want one of us on there, we are more than willing to go on any time. There are a couple of people that I need to get back to. Honestly, I've just been so damn busy, but Lee does that. Flawless does that. Like, they're all absolute legends. So this community, this YouTube community that we have built, always willing to help people out. So seriously, yeah. So I'm not going to wax lyrical too much on this because I gotta go. But yeah, big up. So mark your calendars. September 15th, Lee Gunner on American Idiot Show on TJ Warren TV. So yeah. All right. Any last words, Connor, before we wrap up, my friend?
Listen, great show. I love doing these midweek things now, man. It's now a regular thing. It's more or less sort of like the show we just do now. I mean, we have the odd guest now and then. I think we're going to try to get Ola, who was in the chat earlier, back on for next week. I will contact him.
Yeah, I think we offended him by not asking him, honestly.
Yes, Ola. Sorry, bro. Listen, do you know what? It's so much more difficult now because obviously with the layouts, we now do these layouts, guys. If you don't see like the new stuff I do for the channel, so it's difficult when we've got a set thing we're going to have. Like if someone asks us last minute, it's a bit of a faff for me to go back and do it. But definitely we want to get Ola back on because Ola speaks facts and we know it. And DJX Kane, oh, what a guy, man. What a guy. I like DJX Kane. He's a legend. But yeah, listen, thank you everyone who's tuned in. Make sure you subscribe to TJ's channel, please. We want to get him to 500 subs as soon as possible. Maybe before the end of September. I mean, in the road we're going with the content at the moment, CJ, it looks like you're going to hit it, man. So let's get up to 500 subs really quick. And yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. If you want my Instagram, because I know Wolfang, you asked earlier, I am on Instagram. CMO.editing is my account. You can find me on there. If you need any editing for your YouTube channels, your social medias, any graphics, I do all the TJ's graphics for his channel and for his thumbnails and all that kind of stuff. So if you need to find me on there, especially for Wolfgang, because you asked earlier. It's right there, down there, CMO.editing. And yeah, TJ, looking forward to Friday while I'll be hosting.
Yeah, you're definitely hosting on Friday because I'll be on a plane. But yes, the 500 sub special is still happening. It's just let's get there quicker so it can happen quicker. That's all I'm gonna say. You want to see me? You're gonna see me drink a lot on stream. That's gonna happen when we hit 500. I'm not gonna lie. So if you want to see me in rare form, oh boy, get me to 500 subs, baby. Let's go. Yeah, so that has been the midweek show. I got to get back. I have a call literally in 2 minutes, so we're going to wrap this up right now. Big up, everybody. I know you're always available. Ola, you're an absolute legend. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you, everybody in the chat. We will see you. Well, Connor will see you on Friday, and I will be back sometime this weekend for, something. It's the international break, so you guys will see. For America. Yeah, go America. All right, we'll see you next time, guys.